Hi, I'm Jennifer Davis Tebow, registered dietitian and the founder of Gold Nutrition. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to give you my top tips for meal planning. So if that sounds good to you, just keep on watching. So recently, one of my subscribers asked in the comments if I could do a video about tips for meal planning for the week. And so I was very happy to do that. So let's get right into it. Tip number 1, get familiar with how to build a balanced plate. My guess is that if you're interested in planning your meals, that you're invested in taking good care of yourself and making sure that you're eating in a way that supports your health and your lifestyle and your goals and dreams. And so eating nice balanced meals is going to support all those things. And I did recently make a video about how to build a balanced plate. Unfortunately, due to some technical difficulties, the How to Build a Balanced Plate video has not yet been released. If you would like to see that video, you can hit that red subscribe button down below and also press the bell so that you'll receive notifications of when future videos come out, and that way you won't miss it when it comes. In the meantime, if you'd like more information on how to build a balanced plate, you can head over to my Instagram account at Gold Nutrition, and on the guides tab, I do have a guide on how to build a balanced plate. You can also look at myplate.gov, which is in the United States is our government website that gives all the dietary recommendations, and it is a plate method style that is slightly different than the one I talked about in the video, but not too different, and certainly very good information. So you might want to check that out as well. So tip number 2, once you've gotten familiar with how to build a balanced plate and have an idea of the kinds of things that you'd like to be eating, now it's time to collect some recipes. And you can do this in a variety of ways. You can save recipes on Instagram, you can look through cookbooks, you can do a Google search. And speaking of collecting recipes on Instagram, I do have a series of recipes that I've sort of adapted over time to be simpler that I have posted on Instagram. So I recently made an Instagram guide to the recipes that I've shared. So if you'd like, you can check that out, and that might give you some ideas as well. If you use a planner, like I do, then you can certainly collect recipes in your planner. If you are a user of the Happy Planner, they have a multitude of recipe type planners, and also the regular planners. They do sell recipe filler paper, which I will link that for you, or you could just simply write the recipes on some of their regular filler paper and put that into your planner. So I am a Happy Planner affiliate. So what that means is if you shop any of the links down in my description box, then I earn a small commission at no extra cost to you. So should you choose to do that, thank you so much. If you're not a planner person, but you still like pen and paper, then you can always just use a regular notebook. You could buy like a composition notebook, list out recipes in there. You could print recipes and put them into a 3-ring binder. The point being, you want to make a little resource for yourself, whatever works for you, whatever's realistic, but a nice little quick guide, so that if you are looking for something to make, you can do that quickly. And what I do suggest is that you be realistic. If you know that you are not someone that really loves to cook, then maybe you don't want to be picking recipes that have 20 ingredients and an hour prep time. I mean, I like to cook, but let's be real, I'm a busy mama and an entrepreneur and a working person, and I just don't have time on a regular basis to make, long meals like that. So I have my collection of recipes for, maybe on a weekend when I'm just relaxing and I want to cook a meal like that, then I can. But during the week, I need 20 minutes or less of prep time. And honestly, these days, sometimes I need 5 minutes of prep time. You feeling me? So that's my biggest tip is when you're collecting recipes or meal ideas, make them work for your life, because otherwise it's not going to happen, right? That brings me to tip number 3. Make a list of your go-to meals. I wish I had done this a long time ago because I do love using a planner. I'm making a list and putting it into my planner. I refer to my planner regularly, so that's where I'm going to keep it. I've found in my life over time, certain meals would be in the rotation, and then for whatever reason, they would just kind of fizzle out of rotation and I'd forget all about them. And then one day we would get bored and we'd be thinking of what we would like to eat, and then we'd be like, hey, we haven't had that meal in a really long time, but we'd forgotten all about it. So that's why I think it's really helpful. And also, when life gets so hurried and you're, getting ready to go to the grocery store and you're like, man, I don't know what I'm going to have, and you're trying to keep things more targeted, then you have your go-to list to kind of look at and be like, oh, hey, I think I feel like having that this week. And then, that also saves you money in the grocery store because you have a plan in place. A plan. Tip number 4. Incorporate meals that make leftovers. This is my go-to. For me, my schedule changes every other day. I work full-time in the hospital setting, every other day of the week. And so on the days that I don't work, I have a little more cooking time, so I cook a meal. And then on the days that I go to work, I can come home and just reheat the leftovers. And that has been a game changer. But if you're not the kind of person who likes leftovers, or you don't have that kind of flexibility in your schedule, and that just doesn't work for you, another idea is to plan out meals that use the same ingredients or reuse ingredients. So like, for instance, say one night you're making chicken breast and you're having just the breast with some sides, and then you have leftover chicken, but you don't want to have that same exact meal again. Maybe you shred the chicken and the following night you have like pulled chicken tacos or taco bowl or something like that. So it's still cutting down your prep time on that following night. You don't have to cook the chicken again, but you're not having the same exact meal again. I find that whatever you can do to make life easier means you're more likely to stick to your plan. So that's one of my favorite tips. Tip number 5, incorporate some convenience foods or pre-prepared foods into your rotation if that is helpful to you. So what I mean by this is items like bagged salad or pre-washed cut vegetables, canned tuna, canned beans. For me, I've found this to be extraordinarily helpful because say I have a plan in place, which I usually try to, but something happens, and now all of a sudden I'm getting home really late on an evening that I didn't anticipate it, and I've got to get dinner on the table, much more quickly than I thought. Sometimes having some of these things to lean back on can be really helpful. Say you take canned beans and you rinse them off and you pre-portion them into some containers in the refrigerator. And then you can just grab that and use it at your convenience. Now, the one thing I'll say about that is that you do need to keep food safety in mind. Foods, once they're opened, they only stay good so long. So you can't open your can of beans on Monday night and still be using it on Sunday. In fact, the recommendation for most foods is like 3 to 4 days in the refrigerator, and then they recommend that you discard it. A really excellent website for these kinds of tips is FDA Food Keeper. I've been using that recently, and that's really helpful. And lastly, write out your plan. Write out your week of meals. And this isn't to say that it has to be absolutely set in stone, but writing it out and putting it somewhere where you can see it can help you have at least some sort of plan of attack and keep you on track. And this can also save you money at the grocery store because you'll know what you're making and you'll know what ingredients you need to buy. So you can write this in a number of places. You can write it in your planner. You can write it just in a notebook. Even though I am a planner lover, I recently purchased a magnetic weekly plan pad that goes right on the side of my refrigerator. And this way, I'm able to glance over at it while I'm prepping in the mornings, and it'll keep reminding me what the plan was. No matter where you write it out, I do encourage you to write it out instead of trying to just keep it up in your head with all the rest of the information that's, that you're juggling in there. I think this is really helpful. But of course, keep a degree of flexibility because life happens. I really hope that you found value in this video today. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and comment below if you're going to incorporate some of these tips. And also comment below if you have your own helpful tips. If you like this type of content about nutrition, goal setting, and planning, and you'd like to see more videos like this, then please subscribe and join the Gold Nutrition community. That would be awesome. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.